with another episode of Sit Down here. I'm your host, Ernest. We got my boy Jay Miner. And today we got now former Oregon DB, Brandon Johnson, man. Welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for having me.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
we appreciate you hopping on. So I know I'm not sure if you've seen too many episodes, but we're gonna start all the way from the beginning. Newton, North Carolina, am I correct? Newton, North Carolina?
Newton, Conover, 828.
Newton, Conover, North Carolina. Brandon, let's talk about how you got started into football.
Shoot, flag. Really? They say as soon as I came out the womb, I had a ball in my hand. So, I mean, shoot, I want to say 5, 6 years old is probably when I started playing tackle football and then saw what you wrote.
I was gonna say, was that your first love? Because I know you said you was born with the ball in your hand. Who put that ball in your hand?
Ain't no telling. Ain't no telling. I actually had to wear a helmet, to shake my head, and my uncle started calling me football man because of that. So
Okay.
I think it was just a little bit of manifestation from the jump.
I was gonna say that's what it sounded like for sure.
Yeah.
You say you played flag first?
I played flag for like 1 year. But
Okay, yeah, okay.
yeah,
Oh,
it was fun, but like rec league, whatever. And then
yeah.
from there, I played tackle the following year and then
There
took
you
off.
just,
I
you
definitely
just
said
ready
my
to hit
first,
somebody, huh?
yeah, early on. Early on.
I was gonna say, when was the point where you knew that football is what you would want to be doing in the future, and like when you really started taking it serious?
Honestly, every sport I played, I took it serious up
Mm.
until so I played football, basketball, ran track, like tried everything once, t-ball, soccer, everything. But I think middle school is whenever I was like set on football, basketball, track for real.
Mhm.
And obviously figuring that I couldn't play them all at the next level. Being my size and kind of just looking at how things was mapping out for me.
Yeah.
I decided around my junior year of high school that I'm just gonna play football at the next level and
Mm.
potentially run track as well because I know some people do both. But
Hmm.
that was kind of my plan going into college was just to play football and potentially run track. But yeah,
Man,
around my junior year of high school,
man, what's up, man? Well, a couple of things. So let's start with basketball, man. Who was your player comp, bro? Who was out there playing like?
I say AI.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
That's a crazy player comp, right? But I played the one. I had the cornrows. I was a lefty with it. So hey, I wasn't a
Yeah.
lefty. I was a lefty with it, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
definitely had the court vision. Definitely had I had the dribble bag, but
What that jump shot talking about though?
it was a smooth pull up. I had to develop it. The three wasn't all the way there, but I developed the pull up, get skip
Mhm.
that lane and get
That's
a
all you
shoot
need.
for trees.
I don't know something about them left-handed people, bro. Like they jump shot and like when the left-handed quarterbacks, the motion just looks so pretty, bro. I don't know. It's something about it.
It
And then,
is. It's
but
something
then,
different.
well, keep going, bro. My fault.
No, you good. I seen it firsthand with Dylan Gabriel.
Telling you exactly. So,
Hey,
but
that's
I want to ask you about track too. So, like, what was you running? The 100, 200? What you running, bro?
Yeah, the 100 and 200. I'm gonna shout out my brother. He's still running. I got a twin brother. He running the 400 Hitman event right now. So
ooh. Stay away from that 400, man.
Yeah, I'm
Anything
already
anything
knowing.
longer than 200, over with.
Hey, I,
over.
I was doing the field. I never ran, so I was. I was doing the field.
Yeah, bro.
Dang, but nah, just talking about just in terms of now being in high school, starting to pick up offers. Just what was your recruiting process like?
I got my first offer. Well, I really started going to camps around 8th grade.
Wow.
So
That's
yeah,
early.
shout out to my pops for that because he definitely pushed me on the camps. Like we was going to those early, just getting the competition and just getting in front of coaches and always going back the following year. So the coaches could kind of track my progress all the way from 8th grade up until about my junior year, sophomore year when I started getting offers. I think I got my first offer the summer going into my junior year. So after I had some sophomore varsity film, uh, I went to a camp at Tennessee with a group of guys that I trained with. Shout out Chachi Sullivan. That's the trainer that he put us all on. We all went as a group, a bunch of DBs and a couple receivers. Guys out of North Carolina, South Carolina, and took a bus up to Tennessee. We also hit Louisville, but I ended up getting a offer, my first offer after that Tennessee camp.
That was a big weight off your shoulder, huh?
Yeah, it was
That was
probably
your
one of
first
the
one, SEC too.
yeah, it was crazy. Some of the guys I was going with already had some offers pretty early, and they already knew what time it was whenever like the operations people came into the room and it's Brandon Johnson in here. Then they called the other name, and then it was like, you guys come with us, come talk to Coach Pruitt. That's when Coach Pruitt was there,
Mm,
and he was lit. He already knew what time it was. He had a few offers already. He said, "Bro," he said, "You about to get your offer." He said, "That's what's about to happen." So we
dang.
was up at the tee before we even went to talk to coach.
So once you got that offer, did you have any other dream schools before that, or?
Growing up, I like Florida Gators. I like Vernon Hargraves growing up. He was a smaller DB. I felt like I could compare my game to his. So I like Vernon. So I liked Florida. I could just see myself playing there. But Oregon, I used to play with Oregon on the video game all the time. NCAA 14, they had the 5 uniforms, so everybody was playing with them, and that's another one of my dream schools. So
You talk about back then, I was playing with y'all this year.
yeah,
You talking about last year.
I know it's crazy to say. Yeah, they came out with the game, and that's the only team I use.
The offense crazy on that game too, boy. I ain't gonna lie, I scored 30 every time with y'all.
Too easy.
So
So,
yeah, man. But
go
so
ahead, man.
yeah, it's talking about, continue talking about high school. So like how many offers did you have coming out and what made you, eventually pick Duke?
I think I had about 15,
Mm.
so somewhere in that ballpark,
Hmm.
and I think I wanted to stay in state. Make it
Keep it a
easy.
buck now. Keep it a buck now. Why you went to Duke, man?
I'm gonna tell you. I'm about to tell you. All right, listen. So my final schools, like obviously I had Tennessee in the mix because that was like my biggest offer as my first offer as my biggest offer. Only SEC offer I had. The rest of my offers was like ACC and like Big Ten, a couple mid majors. So that was like my options. That's what I was picking between.
Hmm.
And since the majority was ACC, I'm like, okay, this is where I see myself like kind of fitting in. And especially like my build and my player type, like how I like to play, um, being in that conference would be good for me. So going on the visits, whatever, went to Duke a few times. Definitely love a vibe there. It's a beautiful campus if you've ever been, but it's a beautiful campus. And honestly, long story short, as a 17-year-old, making a decision like if I don't have football, if
Mm,
one day, you know, something happens and football is no longer there for me, I have this Duke degree to fall back on. And that
right.
was really my thought process to make a long story short. And then all the other things on top of that is it's in state. I get to have the backing from my family and my friends back home. Like I'm
Hmm.
not I can travel up and down the road. It's a 2 hour trip. And then you being in the Raleigh Durham area is a growing area. Like it's a nice area. It's things to do. You got multiple schools all around. So you gonna be doing something. It's not a boring time at all.
Yeah.
It's a great place to spend your college experience. And that's just what I learned like through being there and all those things just added on to my thought process and committing to do. And then obviously that's on the outside of football, but inside of football, Mike Carter, who plays nickel for the Jets right now,
Yep.
Mm,
player comp, like I feel like we played similar styles of football and also have a similar build. So he was leaving as I was coming in, and I just felt like it was a smooth transition as far as like, yeah, I see myself doing exactly that. And he did it from here, so why can't I do it from here? And that was really like thought process as far as football.
Well, I'll tell you what. One, that's modern people can say they thought about a degree for real when we're talking about offers. Because I ain't gonna lie, Tennessee, that because Jay Miner told me about his Tennessee visit, how nice it is. I'm surprised they ain't get you to go there, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, no,
I
Tennessee,
ain't,
nice. You
I'm,
go there. It's a beautiful campus as well. Yeah, but I go into a game or whatever, and they got two hosts for you and your
Mhm.
family. Like they set you up real nice at Tennessee. I was.
No.
Mm-hmm.
Shoot, let me ask you this, because I always want to ask, especially like schools like Duke. What is it like being a football player at a predominantly like quote unquote school that's known for basketball? Is it like the same type of vibe? Because I know you now with you going to Oregon, predominantly a football school. Like, what was it like being at Duke at predominantly a basketball school?
It was fun. It was fun to go to the basketball games.
I'm already knowing.
Like that was definitely a fun experience. It's just interesting. Like it's indescribable because Duke basketball fans. That's almost like a cult. It's like that's like Bama football.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that's Duke basketball, and it was just cool to see. Like these are all you get to see all the top guys come through. You get to see people like Cooper Flag play. You get to
Mm.
see people like Paulo Banchero play. Uh, you just get to see a lot of good basketball. And me as a basketball fan, like I really appreciated that, and I was just it added on to my experience at Duke. And then I never really saw it as a downside to football because my first year we weren't very good, but we got the coaching change and we started winning games and people started to respect Duke football as well. And I felt like I was a part of that rebuild. So it was good to just be at a school that had good athletics all the way around.
Bro, no, but we talked about the basketball. Let's really get into it. Let's really get into it. So as you in your time at Duke, who was the crazy and don't gotta be on Duke team, you know y'all team was crazy them last few years. But who was like the craziest player you seen like in person?
Probably Cooper Flag. I actually saw him play. I forget who they played. Maybe it was Notre Dame. I think I saw him play against Notre Dame. But nah, he's just a generational talent.
Cooper a
Like,
freshman though, right?
bro, kid's 18 years old. Yeah,
Crazy.
crazy. He's gonna be the number one pick in the draft. Like you get to see a number one draft pick play. Um, like I say, he's a generational talent. He's a very well-rounded basketball player. And it's hard to say. Like I seen Paolo play. Who else I see play? Uh
Oh, so you must have went back and seen Cooper Flag play this year.
yeah, I went back to see him play this year.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's not during my time at Duke, but I
Mhm.
did get the opportunity to see him play. But at my time at Duke, probably Paolo, he was another number one pick, rookie of the year. So he also a complete basketball player. These
Hey, I'm
guys is
jealous.
real.
I'm jealous, bro. I ain't gonna lie. So I go to school right next to Florida State, and I looked on the schedule, bro. I'm trying to see when Coop gonna come to Florida State, bro. They play coming up, but it's at Duke, bro. I was so
Mm.
sick, bro. I was about to go watch him. So
That's definitely a game that you want to see.
yeah, I'm knowing.
Mhm.
But now going back to just on the field, going into your freshman year, 'cause I know you mentioned just in terms of quote unquote being undersized, just what was the thing that you were, I guess, most nervous about going into your freshman year?
Hmm. That's a good question because I don't like to say I'm a person who gets nervous, right? Like I like
Mm.
to say, I'm pretty calm in all situations and um I'm a guy who kind of just sticks to the plan, like keeps the faith in whatever it is that I'm doing. So there's no reason to have these nerves, but probably just getting on the field, like just getting on the field in general. But once I got there, that's probably what I was most nervous about. But I went early enrollee mid-year. That
Mm.
was a good thing for me to do, like before the rest of my class got there. Not only to get acclimated with the football side of things, but just to get acclimated like in the locker room with the team, like with the guys, like who is who. Like, how does this person move? How does this person move? Because that's a big thing in the locker room. Like, you want to surround yourself with the right people. Like you want to know who you can go, like which upperclassmen you can go to for guidance and things like that. And that's a big thing that's kind of goes overlooked whenever people talk about going to school early. Because you just get all of these different things that don't necessarily get pushed into the limelight. Like people are like, I want to go to school early so I can get a head start on the playbook, so I can, build relationships with the coaches or whatever, like get a head start on school. Like, and those are all things that you know, happen whenever you do go mid-year, but just those little things like building real relationships and just being able to observe things that'll really help you when you're trying to become a college football player for real. Like, what is it
Mhm.
like to be a college football player? But yeah, I think just getting on the field was my main concern. I don't say I was nervous about it, but it was like my main focus and main concern was just playing however it comes.
Did you have it kind of in your head that like I know everyone does, but quote unquote, but did you have it in your head like, hey, I'm coming in, I'm gonna play early from day one, just because you had playing time, true freshman. So was that in your head, or like when did that become a reality for you?
Yeah, it was in my head, for sure. That was one of the reasons why I chose Duke as well, because I figured I'd have the opportunity to play early, at the position that I wanted to play. Because high school I played outside corner, but
Mm-hmm.
like then I'm like, okay, this new quote unquote new position at the time that's like getting some more like hype around it. Like this slot corner position is now the premier position, in a defense on football, just because you have to be so versatile. And I'm looking and these guys are like about my size. Like you look at a lot of the guys in the league right now, you got shoot Kenny Moore, like I said, Mike Carter, got
McDuffie.
Trey Hill. Yeah, like you got plenty of guys. Isaiah Rogers, he plays outside, but
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
from the crib.
yeah, exactly. So you got a lot of guys who I'm built like, and just going into Duke and being able to get that experience in that position pretty early on was advantageous for me. And I figured I'd capitalize on the opportunity.
For sure, man. You definitely did, man. I had to look up your highlights, man. Hey, pretty good, pretty good. I can't
Hooper.
lie. So
Appreciate that.
you talking about your, freshman year, getting out on the field early. With getting on the field early, that means you played a lot of games in your 3 seasons at Duke.
Mhm.
With that being said, what was your favorite moment playing at Duke?
My favorite moment.
Or your best play you made? Well, one of the two, go hand in hand.
All right. I say my favorite moment is just as is beating Clemson week 1, 2023. Just because, we had a good 2022 season, but I'm not sure what was really expected of us in that 2023 season. Then we had a strong opener with Clemson at home, sold out game. And Clemson travel well.
Hmm.
So it was an electric game. And I mean, we was ready to play. And they thought they was coming there and do what Clemson does, which is win. Clemson's a winning football program, and they thought they was going to come in and win. And I feel like that was just a turning point in the trajectory of Duke football, and I was happy to be a part of that. So that's probably one of my favorite moments in my career at Duke.
That's what's up.
Back, just touching on that, just because I remember that year you guys were on college game day too. You guys had an undefeated streak or a big winning streak going on. Just what were just some of those biggest takeaways just during that year? Just because, like you said before, Duke being known for being a basketball school, you guys being a part of that team, that turnaround. Just what was your favorite moment from that year?
Other than the Clemson moment,
Yeah.
shoot, I guess something I took away from that, yeah, like you said, being on college game day, that was definitely that's a once in a lifetime experience for some teams. Like game day goes to Bama all the time. They're in the SEC all the time, like for the game day. You know, I had it again, fortunately, with Oregon this year and Ohio State. We had game day, and then you get it for the Rose Bowl and stuff like that. But to get it for the first time at a school like Duke, that was just another thing that showed what we were doing was real. Like it wasn't a fluke. Like we put the work in for this. We came from 2 wins to 8, 9, 10 wins, and we're undefeated going against Notre Dame, who just beat Ohio State, like at home. Like this is now Duke football. Duke football is no longer what you used to see it as. This is now Duke football. Like we're playing real football. And we didn't come out with the win that game, but I mean, we lost it in a 2-minute drill. So I mean, you live and you learn from those moments. But just once again, being a part of that, just taking away from that that's another once in a lifetime experience that
History.
I'm going to be a part of. Yeah, it's history. Yeah. Hmm.
So yeah, man. I mean, you talking real like obviously been in Duke a long time, had a great career there, great 3 seasons. What? And then you went to Oregon. So like, what like led you to want to leave, bro? You could have stacked another year, good year like you did at Duke, and you still had a good chance to go in the league. So what made you want to hit the portal and then go to Oregon?
So a little backstory to this. Um, because I was expecting to play early at Duke,
Hmm.
I wanted to, and I know that you're eligible for the draft after 3 years,
Yeah.
right? So I'm like, I could come in, play early, play 3 years, go to the draft. But if that is the case, I want to have my degree like before I go to the league.
Hmm.
Mm,
So I did what I had to do to get my degree in 3 years from Duke.
damn.
So yeah. And once I got that, I was like, okay, but the portal, this whole portal thing started to like I started hearing noise about this as well during
Hmm.
my time. And that just became an option for me. I'm like, okay, draft grade isn't necessarily where I want it to be. I can play another year of football and I don't have to play it here because I got what I came here for, which is my degree. So yeah, that's kind of how my process of entering the portal happened. And then after entering the portal, uh, there's a coach, DB coach at Oregon now. His name is Chris Hampton. He recruited me to Duke and left right before I got there. Uh,
Wow.
Hmm.
yeah, he went to Tulane to be the DC there, and that was the year that they beat Caleb Williams and USC in a bowl game.
Hmm.
I don't remember which bowl, but yeah, they beat them. And then after that season, he went to Oregon to be the DB coach. He was there for a year, and then in his second year there was the year I entered the portal, and we just connected again. After I hit the portal, he saw it, he called me. We met up, and that was pretty much all she wrote.
Did Oregon specifically, did you feel that you needed a bigger platform? Did it tie into, like you said, just the connection, or did it have anything to play a part of? Because I know you mentioned like Oregon was obviously one of your dream schools growing up. Like, what do you feel like was the deciding factor of you ultimately choosing Oregon?
Um, I
Because
think.
if you got Oregon coming out the portal, I know you got other places coming
Exactly,
to get
bro.
you, especially with your resume, what you put out at Duke. I know
Mhm.
you was definitely getting some calls from other places. So like, what really sold you on Oregon?
And be real. Be real.
Hey, come on now, Aaron.
Yeah, for sure. What really sold me, uh, it's Nike University, right? So
Yeah.
you go out there and you see everything that Phil Knight and Nike have put into the program, and you understand the importance of football. Like being at a place like Duke, basketball is at the forefront, and then being at a place like Oregon, which is like a powerhouse, football is at the forefront, and being at a place, but I could have went to, like you said, multiple schools where football is the priority, where all the money goes in football. But Oregon is just different due to the fact that they have that relationship with Nike, and you can just sense something there that's different than other schools. Like I took other visits. I went to Texas A&M, Kyle Field. That's crazy, right?
Ooh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
shoot.
So like that's different too. Like there's not many schools that can compare to these schools I'm talking about right now. And I don't know, like the connection part of it was a good part of it. Just knowing that I had that relationship with Coach Hampton, but also just being at a school, that's known on a national stage where every game is sold out, everybody's watching every single game on TV, and on top of that, knowing the roster that we had, because I was one of the last transfers, so I pretty much knew like the team and everything, or knew the roster before I even transferred there. And we had a heck of a DB group in the back end. Uh, Arguably the best DB group in the nation for sure. And our offense was crazy. Like arguably the best receiving core in the nation, the best quarterback in the nation. We had one of the best O lines and D lines in the nation. Like the proof is in the pudding, but I'm just saying, like being able to play with that caliber of talent and competition every single day, not just in the games, but in practice. I knew that was an opportunity for me to get better as a player. And if I say that I want to do what I want to do, I feel like that was the best opportunity for me to take, to really grow as a player, not only a player, but as a person, like going all the way from North Carolina to Oregon.
Yeah, not gonna lie. Not to be corny or cliche or anything, but iron really do sharpen iron. Playing with all those people, like it really, really is gonna make your game better, bro.
It does. So I
So,
feel like I'm a better player because of it. So I'm not mad at the decision I made at all.
Oh no, definitely a great decision.
now Hey, nah, I've been waiting almost when I figured out we were gonna get you on the show, man. I had this question loaded up, bro, loaded up. So you at Oregon, you spoke about Nike, all the money they put into the program, Nike this, Nike that, bro. Out of you only spent 1 year there, but in your time there, what was your favorite like jersey combination y'all had?
I like the all blacks. I like the all blacks. It was crispy. We were all black with a chrome hill. Ooh, we were all black. We wore the different black combos. So I like the all black. We wore it with a black helmet and it
Hmm.
had like chrome wings and chrome accents, chrome cleats, whatever. That's probably that's 1A. And
Mm,
then 1B is what we wore against Wisconsin, which was, oh wait, I have three. I'm sorry. I have three. First is the all white. I'm sorry. First is the all white that we wore against Michigan. So we wore all white
mm.
against Michigan and chrome helmets, all white chrome helmets. That's probably my favorite. And then 2A and 2B was the all black I was just talking about. And then 2B, it was at Wisconsin where we wore the same black helmet, white jerseys, black
Mhm.
pants. Like that was probably those are my favorite combos.
Yeah, that's so hard, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
That's just crazy.
Did y'all wear the breast cancer ones this year or not?
Yeah, we were the best. Hey, I like those too. Like I could rank, I don't I could just rank them. But uh yeah, the breast cancer was that's the all yellow. You had like the colors in the jersey, you had the colors
Yeah.
on the cleat. Like it was just crazy.
I always like the speckles in there too. Those be hard too, like on the
Oh
jersey.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shoot, but then now, hey, Aaron, let's get into that on the field. So, going into your first year at Oregon, like you said, coming into a stacked team, you guys having a lot of just preseason hype about you guys being one of the top contenders and having the best odds of winning an national championship. Going on a run, undefeated, finally matching up. You guys undefeated versus Ohio State undefeated. That first matchup. Talk about what's going in your head because I believe that was that the 1-2 game.
Think
Yeah,
so.
I believe like they were one, we were two at the
Yeah,
time.
number one in the country, number two in the country at Eugene. Talk
Mhm.
about just what was your mindset going up into that first matchup? Because that's probably the big, not probably at that point leading up to it. At that point in time, that was the biggest game of your life. So, what is it? What all was just going through your head with that matchup?
Honestly, you try to just remain and the same, like do everything you always do, treat every game the same. But it's hard to treat a game of this magnitude the same as every game, especially when you've never been a part of something this big before. So
Yeah.
like, before that game, the two biggest games I had played in are a few of the biggest games I played in, like that or the Clemson game, the Notre Dame game on college game day, and then like a week after that we played Florida State at Florida State. But those were pretty big games, but they were not as big as this. Not one versus two, both undefeated. Ain't no telling who gonna win. You got the media doing what the media does.
Mm-hmm.
So, like you just gotta try to block everything out. Like essentially that was my mindset was just don't worry about anything except for the game. Because that's all you can worry about. You ain't got time to be worrying about who they picking to win the game, or you ain't got time to be worried about somebody texting your phone, telling you do this, do that, talking about what they expecting of you. Because
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whether you want to act like the pressure is there or not, it's there in reality. So um, I just feel like those experiences, they prepare you for the next experience when you have a big game. So yeah.
Hey, all right. So then now I need to hear your perspective of it, just because that game came down to the wire. What was your point of view of just that call, controversial call, people like to say, when the Jeremiah Smith push off? Like, what was your point of view at that time of the game?
I was in coverage,
Oh,
so
you didn't even get to see it like that, huh?
no, I don't think I got to see it like that. I think I might have been covering like an over route, so I might have like I don't know peripherally
Yeah,
saw
corner
it.
your eye or something.
Yeah, but I don't really think I saw it because I was in coverage. But obviously, you look up on the jumbotron and you kind of just see like the ball thrown or whatever, and I seen him catch the ball, and my boy tackled him up. But you look at it, it's just clear as day he pushed off. So I don't think
Mm-hmm.
that's controversial. I think that's just the call.
Yeah.
Yeah, went on Twitter or something talking about it or something like that. I don't know. I don't get into all that. But I mean, if you watch football and you say it's not a PI, then everybody has their opinion.
Right.
You're entitled to that. But in my opinion, I think it was a flag.
Hey, a lot of people think they made the right call. So just after you guys finally beat the number two team in the country, I feel like you guys' mindset, obviously you got to take one day at a time, but I feel like your mindset, hey, we take care of business. All of our goals are in front of you. So just throughout the rest of the year, going to the Big Ten championship, winning that, going into the playoffs. Two things actually. One, we'll talk about just the playoff seedings and playoff rankings, just because you guys with the number one team, a lot of the outside noise feels like your path should have been different. Like you guys should have got like maybe like a Boise State that first round or someone else. Obviously, no excuses or anything. So I just want you to hear just talk about the seedings. Like, do you feel like the seedings were kind of like iffy in terms of that? Like, and and then the next question is, once you guys found out that you guys were playing Ohio State again, what is that atmosphere in the room?
As far as the seedings go, this was the first year with the 12 team playoff. So I mean it's trial, like it's trial and error.
Mm,
Uh, I think objectively, being a football player, a person who's played football for a long time, it's hard to play football, after 3 weeks of not playing football. You saw that as all the teams that had buys, they lost. Now, what does that mean? I'm not sure, but I do
mm,
know that it's hard to play a football game after not playing for 3 weeks, especially when you're playing against playoff caliber teams. Like
yeah.
you're not playing regular season games, you're playing playoff games. And these teams have already came off of one playoff game.
They
So
hot.
yeah,
Yeah.
they best believe they at the top of their game. Like they trying to peak right now, at least. Like they're trying to be at their peak. Like this is playoff time. So, it's win or go home. And you playing against the best teams in the nation after they're hot and we're not. Like simple as that, you know. Um, so that's as far as the seedings go. And then finding out that we played Ohio State. I mean, obviously us and Ohio State were the two best teams in the nation. So we're pretty much like this the natty right here. Like whoever win this probably gonna go on to win the natty. So
Mm.
but just going into that game, like we know it was win or go home. I mean, we had a game plan, they had a game plan. Everybody got a plan until you get punched in the mouth though. So I mean, that's just how it goes. Football, like I said, trying to play football against the best team in the nation after not. I'm not trying to make excuses here, though. That's the thing.
No, for sure.
But trying to play, or not even trying to, playing a game against a team as good as Ohio State, and not being at your best, that's just, you're going to lose. You're going to lose. So they were at their best, and we were not at our best. And but the mindset going into the game was to handle business as usual. You never plan to lose, you always plan to win. And yeah, that was it.
I definitely think Ohio State had an advantage already playing and then playing against y'all already. So they kind of like already had a game plan. That get back, you know how that goes. They play a little extra. So then my question to you is, being a part of the 12 team playoff, being one of the people that got a bye week, how would you say they can improve the playoff going forward?
I would say don't give teams that much time off,
Mhm.
however that may look. And honestly, at this point, you can you can get rid of the conference championships and move on to like the bowl games or week one. Like have teams play their first playoff game during that conference championship week. And whoever is the conference champion is who has the best record in the conference.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to play for that title because What for whatever reason, I don't know. It just seems like it holds way less weight now that you have to play 3, 4 more games to get to the
Mhm.
90. So then also after that, you have to take time off. So if you win the conference championship, you're the one taking 3 weeks off. If you're the winner of your conference, you get a bye. And it's like, why not just be the winner of the conference outright? So you still get your trophy or whatever, or not, whatever. It doesn't seem like it holds weight, but uh, and then yeah, that week that people play the conference championship, that would be the bye week for the number one seed, while these other teams have their first playoff game, and then you can just continue on from there. Rose Bowl the following week. Uh, what is it? Semis the next week, or quarterfinals, then semifinals and finals. Yeah, like I think that sounds like a plan to me. I don't know.
Yeah,
Hey, it
because I
sounds like
feel
they need
like
a committee, bro.
something just because like in y'all situation, I feel like the conference championship, quote unquote, like I would rather lose the conference championship than have an easier path or quote unquote easier path to the natty. Because at the end of the day, if you win the national championship, I doubt the fans will care if y'all won the conference. But that's just my point of view. But I
Yeah,
know
Ohio State didn't even play in the conference championship.
Right.
exactly, and the fans they're not gonna remember that 20 years down the road. They
Sure
just want
not.
to see that national championship. So I
They
know
lost, they lost to Michigan, but they won
That's the
the
only game
natty.
they're gonna remember from the regular season.
But not if you hold up the natty at the end.
facts.
Sure.
Yeah, sure.
So just touching back off of y'all's season, just because I know been dealing with pre-draft, all this prep and everything for your pro day. Have you had time to like really reflect on you guys' season? Just because I feel like you being a part of such a special group, going undefeated throughout the regular season, then one blemish on you guys' record can kind of tarnish everything. Like, have you had time to like really reflect on the past couple months that you guys been through as a team?
Um, so at the end of the season, we had a meeting. We had a team meeting. Everybody came in the meeting room, coaches, just support staff, everybody. Just Coach Landon allowed us to go up there and say a few words. Just get some things off our chests. Like as this would be the last time we'd have like a team meeting, we'd all be in one room together for real. And what I said was, do I feel like we should still be playing football? Yes, 100%. And does this game define us as a team? Not at all. Like it doesn't define anybody in this room. As far as I'm concerned, you're defined by your greatest moments, not your lowest moments. So, I tried to just give that message to the team. And then yeah, I told him, I said, y'all some of the coldest football players I've ever seen on the field. So don't let this one loss, don't let anybody define you by this one loss, especially not yourself. So yeah, that was my reflection of the season.
For real.
It's a really special season. I was fortunate to play with some of the best players in the nation. Oregon has 12 guys at the combine right now, behind Georgia and Ohio State, I believe, or one of those schools. Yeah. Um,
You probably
so
should have more for real.
Oh, 100%. You could have put the whole offense and defense in the
Literally.
that's two, so um yeah, I was very fortunate, and that's definitely I will never forget that experience and the relationships that I made out of Oregon.
For sure, man. I want you to talk about Coach Landon a little bit, man. Talk about his leadership style, like the type of person he is. Because everybody has their opinions on it from the outside, looking in. He's this, he's that. Well, what's your opinion on Coach Landon, or yeah.
Yeah, just to talk about Coach Lanning a little bit. From day one, I could appreciate his authenticity. Just who he was. He's himself in every room that he steps in. Um, he definitely connects with players well. I think that's one thing that Coach Lanning is good at. He connects with the players well, and you could have a regular conversation with them at any given time. It doesn't always have to be about football, but when it is about football, it's about football. So you can respect that about coach because if you try to go up talking to him about something that doesn't concern football when it's time to talk football, he gonna look at you crazy as he should. But
Hmm.
when practice is over with, I mean, as soon as practice is over with, we can talk about anything. It don't even matter
Right.
because like we gonna get back to that football talk. But you a person before you a football player, and I think Coach Landon does a good job of recognizing that.
Nah, hey, that's the type of person you want to play for.
Mhm.
Hey, but I gotta ask you just before you get out of here and get ready to go. You were probably one of the only few people that got a chance to guard what people are now saying is a generational talent, might be the best receiver of his generation coming up in Jeremiah Smith. You're one of the few people that got a chance to play against him not once but twice. Can you touch on a little bit just because it's different from watching it from on TV? Because as a DB mind, it's different from like seeing stuff on TV versus actually being the person guarding him. What do you feel like is the thing that makes him special? Just because he has a lot of intangibles, but like you actually guarding him, you actually having to be the one in his face. What you think makes him special?
I think it's his mixture of size and speed,
Hmm.
and also size, speed, and athletic ability. So like these are all different things. Like, I mean, he can jump out the gym, but he's also 6'4", and he's also 220, and he also runs as fast as anyone on the field. Now, he may not be the most crisp receiver, but when you have all these other abilities, they can make up for wherever you lack.
Hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, he a fool with the ball in his hands. Yeah, he get in open space, he a fool with it. And
Catch radius OD too.
yeah,
Yes.
mhm. He can run past you. You got to be on your game when you guarding him because, like y'all said, he's a generational talent for sure. You don't see many football players, like Jeremiah Smith. You may see somebody who has two out of the three, you know, or somebody who is a crisp route runner, got great hands. Jeremiah Smith has good hands as well.
Hmm.
But he's definitely a good football player, young player. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in the future.
Bro,
True
I'm telling
freshman too.
like you could teach somebody route run. You can't teach them all that other stuff though.
Exactly. He has all the things you can't
Yeah,
teach.
you can't teach that. So who
Mhm.
just now me looking in, my player comp I gave for him was like a Julio Jones kind of. What do you think?
I see that player come for him everywhere.
Yeah.
So I don't disagree with you too much. Julio makes those crazy catches. He has that crazy catch radius. He got
Hmm.
that speed and size, kind of like Jeremiah Smith. But you know how crazy Julio was. So
Exactly.
Julio washed now, but
Is he in the league anymore?
No,
I
I don't
think
think
he's a
so.
free agent.
I think he hurting right now.
Yeah, he about to post that the IG retirement. Hey, 11
Yeah,
out.
coming soon. But
So
nah, but Brandon, just going into now, college career officially done. Uh, what does it feel like, just in terms of, I'm pretty sure it's probably a long, long dream of yours to get ready for the NFL. Do you feel like any different, or like do you feel like, like what do you feel like right now, just getting ready to accomplish probably one of the biggest dreams of your life?
surreal, a surreal feeling. Waking up with your dreams literally right in front of your face every day. And as I was in college, it was the same thing. Like I'm still living my dream to playing college football. Like I'm waking up with my dream right in front of my face every day. And sometimes we take that for granted, but right now I'm just trying my best not to take where I'm at for granted. Like it doesn't last forever and it can end at any day. So I wake up feeling very fortunate every day. I'm excited every day. I'm confident every day. Like there's other things that go along with this process, but just trying my best to control what I can control about it and knowing that it'll all work out for me. Um, I feel very blessed and highly favored.
Hey, that's the perfect answer right there.
It is. Now, my last question for you, bro. is, what are teams getting when they draft Brandon Johnson? When you hear your name in a few months here, what are they getting?
I mean, they get the dog all the way around. Um, you getting a versatile player, you getting a smart player, an instinctual player, you getting a guy who gonna put his body on the line. You getting a good teammate. You getting a good guy in the locker room, a good off the field guy. I mean, you're getting a well-rounded person. I feel like one of my best traits is I have the ability to make the people around me better. And I mean, what don't you love about that? That's what you want in every guy that you have on your team, because that's what makes the team as a whole great. And yeah, I mean, you getting everything from me, because if I give everything to myself, that means I'm giving everything to the people around me. So
Facts.
Love
And
it.
I'm not gonna lie, just in terms of watching on film, my player comp for you, just 'cause I know I've been pretty much watching all y'all games. You play like a mixture of like Brian Branch mixed with McDuffie from the Chiefs. Cause in terms of, and when you in that slot, you locking down. Hey, you still coming down in that run support, and you flying too. So that lead me to ask, just in terms of pro day coming up, you got any target numbers or target times you trying to get on the testing, like the 40 vertical? You got any targets that you trying to hit?
just
Cause
expect it.
you said track background, so I know you're gonna be trying to fly.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say no number. I'm gonna keep it,
Okay,
but just
slide.
mm,
Hey,
yeah,
that's all we get. But hey, my last question before we go, man, because I know you were saying in terms of you Oregon growing up and having the chance to play this past season at Oregon, who your top three Oregon Ducks of all time?
number one, I'm going with that. You know what I'm saying? That mama.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite player all time.
Yeah, the Anthony Thomas, man. He an icon for sure. For sure. I used to be a running back in Little League. So I
Oh,
like
I
the
know you about to
fullbacks.
say
Yeah, Kenyon Barner was a
He was
uh,
dog too, yeah.
full with it. So I like Kenyon Barner after the Anthony Thomas. They was kind of right there with each other. And LaMichael James.
2-1.
Yeah, Michael James,
Dog.
and obviously Mariota. But I mean, that's four. But like I said, I like the running backs and slots and stuff. I felt like that was more like me.
Mm-hmm. I was about to say all undersized but flying. I was about to say D'Anthony Thomas. I remember his freshman year. Going crazy. And I'm lying. I got one more question. Hey, hoop question, Ern. Who your top three hoopers right now?
My top three hoopers right now. If we
Yeah,
talk NBA,
yeah.
I don't really watch the league enough, if I'm being real. So y'all gotta bear with my answers. Like
Okay.
obviously, I know ball, right? I know ball,
Hmm.
but I don't know, like who's currently hooping for real. But you said top three. I'm throwing Rob Dillingham in there. You know,
Ooh, North Carolina boy, huh?
Bucket.
that's the homie. So of course, I'm showing love to the bro, Rob Dillingham. Definitely one of the nicest hoopers in the league. He on a team with a bunch of vets. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nice. Every time he get minutes, he get more buckets than he does minutes.
He's a
So
bucket. Yeah.
that's all you know how to do, bucket. So Rob, uh, let me see. Paulo, Paulo be putting up numbers, dog.
All of
Uh,
them too.
be consistent.
Dog.
Be consistent. Another one of the homies right there. All right, and then for my third, I mean, I hate this. Bro, hurt right now, but I said Wimby.
Yeah.
He's Wimby.
Alien right there.
Yeah.
Hey,
Hey,
Ern, you already know what time it is. I'm gonna throw you that alley oop, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, Brandon, man. Great having you on the show, man. Great talking with you, learn more about you. So, we have a, tradition here to sit down. The last question, I ask the last question. It's, to the guests. And that question is, out of all the people Brandon, all the people you met, connections, everything you've made, who do you think will be a great person for our show?
it's a great question, bro. Um, Dwayne Carter is my teammate at Duke. He currently plays with the Buffalo Bills, but he's a great guy. One of my favorite teammates, and I think a lot of other people would say that about him. Uh, he'd be a great guy for the show. I think y'all would enjoy, getting to have a conversation with Dwayne.
Hey, what Aaron forgot to say in the fine print at the bottom, we might have to go through you to make that happen. But hey, man, definitely appreciate you hopping on the show, taking time, getting ready for pro day. When's your exact pro day?
Holiday March 18th. March
March
18th.
18th. A lot of blessings gonna be coming after that day. So man, hey Ern, you know what it is, man. Go ahead, like, comment, subscribe, Ern. Yes,
Hey
sir.
man, Jay Monitor did it for me today, man. He did it for me today, everyone. So yeah, like you said, like, comment, subscribe, man. We'll see y'all next time.